Good morning, welcome aboard. This is Morning at NTV. In Brilliant Skies, today we're going to talk about issues concerning the Uganda North American Association. Now, the Uganda North American Association is a non-profitable organization registered in the state of Massachusetts, United States of America. It provides a platform to Ugandans to maintain the positive culture of the Ugandan feel. Today we're joined by the president, Ms. Henrietta Uwamala, to talk about issues or sentiments that the Ugandans living in North America have. Now, North America comprises of 3 countries. That's Mexico, United States of America, and Canada. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, it's our pleasure having you always here at Morning at NTV. Now, can you briefly explain to us what is all about Uganda North American Association?
Uganda North American Association is a 32-year-old organization right now, and it's an organization that brings us together as Ugandans in the diaspora. We try to get together annually. Some people think that the convention is the only thing UNAA does, but no. We also have philanthropic activities that we do through our care tour by Miss Uganda North America, who was just here a few weeks ago. Yeah. She was, I think, in Katanga, in the mental hospital, trying to, send the message out there that mental health is a disease and we should not shun people who have the disease. And also, we have helped a hospital in Soroti to actually help those with fistula by helping build that hospital.
Coronavirus, amongst the countries that it has hit the most, United States is one of them. Can you tell us how Ugandans living in North America are coping up with the pandemic?
Okay. The Ugandans in North America are following the Center for Disease guidelines that have been released. We have been trying to tell them to be mindful of the environment, make sure that they try to stay safe by staying within their vicinity. We've told them to practice the safe hand washing techniques. Try to not touch their faces because coronavirus spreads easily through any body openings. So we are trying to spread the stay healthy campaign rather than if someone first gets sick and then they have to see a physician. I think prevention is better than cure, and most of them are following the guidelines. In fact, if you check most of the Facebook messages, a lot of prevention is better than cure messages are out there. So we are mindful, and unfortunately, we have a lot of them who work in the healthcare field. And we also know that there are a lot of sick people that are being tested. There are a lot of sick people that may be taken care of. So we are praying for them. But even in the healthcare field, we ask them to be cautious.
So you coming right here in Uganda amidst this fracas, it must be a very important issue here in Uganda.
Actually, my visit was planned even before the outbreak of COVID-19. And the issues that brought me here are issues that concern us in the diaspora. The first issue is renewing and applying for passports. There is a new law that went in effect that we now have to apply for passports online, and then you have to go and have your biometrics done in Washington, meaning you have to have your fingerprints done at the embassy in Washington. It becomes very costly for any normal Ugandan to travel from one state to go to Washington. You have to at least pay about $1,000 to have just that done. So we've engaged the policymakers, that is Ministry of Internal Affairs. They've listened to our issues and they are willing to work with us to see that they can bring those services to the communities. I'm very positive about that at least they have listened to us. The other issue is also the ID, Ndagamuntu. Right now, if you want to transact any business in Uganda, you need your ID. Even just getting into any entity. Like right now, when I was checking in NTV, they asked me give us your ID. And I was like, okay, I'm glad I have one. Right, yes. So I gave them my ID in order to access the premises. So what I was explained to by the NERA people in NERA offices was that the NIN number is equivalent to what we have as a social security number in the US. That is what identifies you as an individual. They won't even look at your name. They'll punch in your social security number to know who you are. So in Uganda, I guess the NIN number is what identifies now the Ugandan. And I think that number is also going to be a very critical number needed when people are applying for passports. So the message I'm bringing back to our diasporans is when these services come to the states where you live, the various states by the embassy, or even during the UNAA convention, take advantage of those services and register.
So Ugandans who are in North America, do they have these national IDs? And if they don't have and they want to have them, what can they do? Do they have to board a plane and come back to Uganda, or is there a provision that they can pass through, a way they can pass through to get these national IDs?
Right now they have to go to Washington, D.C., to the embassy to get that processed. And that's the issue we are having as Ugandans in North America, that we have to travel miles to go to do that. So we are asking the embassy to come to us. For example, UNAA can work with the communities in the 50 states. America is made up of 50 states, and we see a day where they can come to us, we register, and then people can either have only one cost to go and pick them up, because even after registering for them, you have to still go and have your biometrics done to get your ID.
By estimation, how many Ugandans live in North America or in America?
Okay. By estimation, we have had numbers like between 200,000 to 300,000 Ugandans.
How many members do you have in UNAA so far?
UNAA registered members are about 1,300, but the people who attend the convention always pull about 2,500. Yes. We are quite a big number there.
So that's a huge number. And now, this is an election year, as you've stated, and you've been talking about national IDs, which is one of the vital items, actually, that is required when you are eligible to vote. So that means that here in Uganda, we're in, a heated year in politics.
Yes.
In America, are you eligible? Is that number voting?
Unfortunately not. In the diaspora, we are not eligible to participate in the voting process in Uganda because we don't have the means to do so. But if you have your ID, if you have your national ID, you can get on a plane and come back to Uganda, but we cannot do it in the diaspora. So that is the other issue, as one of the issues that brought me, that I pressed this to the Speaker of Parliament, and she's actually working on a policy to see whether the diasporans can be included to be able to vote. When I met her with her last week, Miss Rebecca Kadaga, she said they are still working on a few little touches on the policy they are working on the law to vote, and we hope that in the next elections we will also be considered, because we actually do boost your economy.
So actually you are lobbying for Ugandans in North America to go and vote.
Yes.
Oh, to
be able to vote for whoever they want to vote for.
While they are still there?
While they are still there.
Okay.
Because it means that we will have to pay about, what, $2,000 to just come and cast a vote? That is a lot of money.
So you are lobbying for Ugandans in 3 countries?
Yes. That is Mexico, Canada, and America, because that is the only vicinity that I sit upon as president.
Well, there is something that has been itching my mind.
Yes.
We've been talking about policies that are oppressing Ugandans in North America, and we've only talked about a few points. We've only hit on few points, like 2, 3. Are there any other challenges that Ugandans in North America face?
Paperwork that you're required to have as a legal person. That is a big issue for those who do not have the statuses. And we try to at least pass on information to some people who come to us and say, I'm looking for a way of getting status, and if you know anyone who can help you with that, we pass on that information so that you can get your status sorted out.
So, and they are the legal policies?
Oh yes. You must have legal status to be able to work, to be able to engage in activities such as education, any official engagements. So we try to make sure that we guide our people correctly, because we want good citizens when we are there too. I want to tell people out there, whether it's here in Uganda or in North America, to please stay safe. Be very precautious of what you're doing. Be mindful of the people who are around you. Try to wash your hands. Don't touch your faces. I know sometimes we do that. Be aware of the people who are around you, especially the elderly. I've cautioned, especially people in North America, to check on the elderly, because coronavirus is actually affecting badly the elderly population. So check on the elderly population, try to reach out to them and make sure they are okay. And also the other thing is, our motto in UNAA says, United we stand. I continue to urge people to join us. Those who have been walking away from UNAA, come back home. Let us be one unit, because as a united front, we can't be able to surpass anything.
Okay, now this was Miss Henrietta Wamala, the president of UNAA, and she was here voicing the sentiments of Ugandans in North America. So whenever you feel you want to go to America, you can just get a hold of UNAA, and they will help you with a few things here and there, as you know. Well, this is how we do it every Monday to Friday here at Morning at NTV. Keep on watching. The show runs from 6:30 to 9 a.m. I'm Arafat Shafiq, heading back to studios.